I, 24M, walked in on something horrifying with my girlfriend, 23F, and 2 friends, 23M/F. Please help me. I've been seeing my girlfriend Laura for a year. She's fantastic, and we adore one another. I'd known Jake and Shelley for 2 years. We weren't close at first since I met them via my circle of friends, but now we're quite close. They love my girlfriend and spend more time with her than with me. Once, they'd even informed me that if we split up, they would choose her side over mine, despite the fact that I've known them longer. Anyway, I'll go right to it. Laura had just graduated from college and wanted to celebrate. Let me begin by mentioning that she never drinks. I believe she's only drunk once or twice in the year I've known her, and that's because my circle of friends sort of forced her to. She can't take booze since she's so little and has no tolerance. This will come in handy later. So Jake and Shelley invite her to their house when I'm at work, and I'm unable to go. The idea was for them to pick her up and drive her to their apartment, then for me to pick her up after work so she wouldn't drink and drive or have to stay the night. Everything is okay. I trust them, and I know they are experienced drinkers who would keep an eye on her. I leave work at 2 a.m. and go over to their house. I knew Laura was intoxicated at this point because of the messages I was receiving from her, so I knew I had to take care of her. But then I arrived to their home and discover something horrible. Laura is unconscious on the ground, Shelley is on top of her, making out with her, and Jake is filming everything on his phone. I panic out and ask him what is going on. Then I grab his phone and erase the videos and photographs. He chuckles and claims it was all a prank, that they took the images to mock Laura and play a joke on her in the morning. I take her up from the ground and we walk away. Guys, she was so inebriated she couldn't even walk. She was puking all the time, weeping all the time, and couldn't see straight, while my mates were absolutely sober. What the heck is this? I put her to bed and then got a text from Shelley stating I shouldn't be upset since it was all a joke. I respond that they took advantage of her and she agrees, but claims they did it in a pleasant manner so she could let free and have fun since she is constantly studying. I was so horrified that I didn't respond and spent the whole night caring for Laura, since she wouldn't stop vomiting. Laura gets a slew of text messages from them the following day, berating her for getting them into trouble. They claim she's an adult woman who can handle her own errors, that they don't care what I think about what they did, that I'm a little and that it's all her responsibility, since she forced them to make the video. If you could see how incoherent and blacked out my partner was, you'd realize she couldn't even get up, much alone push anybody to do anything. She's been sobbing all day, going back and forth between yes, it was all her fault, and no, they were filthy. They continue to chastise and ridicule me for being furious, claiming that I am overreacting to a simple prank that they were planning to perform on her. I'm at a loss on what to do. Please help. Am I mistaken? Because I don't believe I am, but Jake and Shelley are circulating tales about it, portraying me as a possessive, controlling jerk and my girlfriend as a stupid drunk who forced them to behave poorly. Update. So for many days following the event, they phoned my girlfriend on a regular basis, criticizing her and telling her it was her fault. She again revealed to them that she was blackout drunk and couldn't remember anything, and they jumped on that knowledge by feeding her fake tales about what really occurred and accusing me of lying and being a controlling jerk who just wanted to separate her from her genuine friends. They then proceeded to tell her horrible stories about my past, that I did drugs when I was 18 for God's sake, that I was once arrested for drunk driving, a mistake I admitted to as soon as she and I met, and she was aware of it from the start, that I've slept with multiple women, and that Laura is just another number to me. Guys, I'll confess that I used to be a party animal with a horrible history, but I'm a different guy now and I love my fiancée with all of my heart. It stunned that they were using my history against me to get her to join their cause. So I advised her to go to the police station and submit a complaint, and she consented. They flipped when she told them to stop pestering her out. But they came to our home late at night to attempt to speak to her. They left snacks and gifts for her at our door, and they even enlisted the help of her parents. Her parents are not fools, and as soon as I informed her what they did to Laura, she barred them from the home and threatened to call the cops if they returned. It was a bizarre situation, given that they left handwritten messages for her parents to read, marked, "Love, your beloved son, daughter." Laura spent several nights in my arms, sobbing with remorse and uncertainty. After weeks of harassment, we went to the police station and filed a case. She didn't want to pursue charges. I'm working on rebuilding her self-esteem so she can do it if she ever wants to. The cops told her that she has enough evidence to bring charges against them, since she had the messages in which they acknowledged to taking advantage of her, and that if she does, they can take their phones and check for their video. I'm still not sure how it would work, but I'm not going to argue with it. Laura only wanted to submit a report so that if anything were to happen in the future, there would be a paper trail. She's thinking about getting a restraining order against them, but they've stopped and gone quiet. We have lost touch with them and any other friends who believe their falsehoods. Laura is in treatment and is gradually coming to terms with the fact that she was attacked, and I sometimes accompany her to encourage her. The most difficult aspect for her is not feeling like it's her responsibility. She brings up the fact that she was intoxicated and that if she hadn't been so drunk, it might all have been averted. It is not her fault, I constantly tell her. We'll see if she decides to pursue charges. I can't make her do anything she doesn't want to do, but I will back her in anything she decides. So there you have it. I'm not sure what to make of the chaos that ensued that night. I'm not sure why they went insane, leaving her letters and presents and attempting to contact her parents. Could one of you explain it to me? Story 2. Ex broke up with me partially because I didn't have a lot of money, and it's made me insecure about future relationships. To give you some context, my ex and I met and began dating before quarantine in 2020. We met at university via lectures and really clicked. After a few enjoyable and intriguing dates, she is an international student from Asia, and although her family isn't particularly wealthy, they are certainly wealthy enough to send her to college here and cover her living expenses in addition to tuition. She loves to travel and dine out often, with a separate Instagram account devoted to the cuisine and places she tries. She had planned various vacations for the spring and summer, but they had to be canceled because of the quarantine. When quarantine began, we were practically confined together for a few months, which worked out very well for our relationship since it provided us a lot of time together with things to do ranging from schoolwork to many other things. When things began to reopen with a lot of limitations, we both chose to work and take some time off from school, and it was about this time that I discovered how well off her family was, as her uncle had given her enough money to buy a vehicle $20,000, which I had helped her choose out. Fast forward a few months, and with more opportunities reopening, she wanted to travel again, and I persuaded her to join me and spend the holidays with my family and I. In all honesty, it was a pleasant experience, but I was a little nervous about bringing her home because I had told her I came from a lower-income family and wasn't sure how she would react. Even though she assured me it was fine and that she knew and understood, it was still a thought in the back of my mind during the holidays. When we came home, she claimed she had a great time traveling with me and was planning further excursions she wanted to do both by herself and with me. While I was thrilled and excited for her, I had to be honest with her and tell her that I couldn't afford to travel much with my present wage. She broke up with me by text message after a few weeks, took some time for herself and began traveling again. A few months later, she began dating one of her friends who happens to be from a wealthy family as well. His family had paid for him to obtain all kinds of stuff, including flying training, and they've been traveling and dining out together. I'm not saying I'm not pleased for her. In fact, I'm thrilled she's having a good time. But I can't help but feel awful and sad. I'm not sure whether she thought I was limiting her experiences by not being able to travel with her or take her out on a regular basis. I'm sure she didn't mind for a time, and we were plainly content. But it's possible that it did become a problem for her as time passed. And now I have to say that I'm quite apprehensive about future relationships since I don't know whether it will happen again. If someone I'm dating becomes dissatisfied with the hours I work or the lack of luxury in my life, or I'm worried about someone leaving me again because she's seeing someone with more money, and I'm not sure how to overcome these fears other than working hard and saving money, which doesn't help much.